All right. Aloha. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. It is episode 4 of season 18. This is our 18th season. I'm so honored and so wonderful to have you all here today. Hope you are joining us live, and those who are listening in podcast afterwards, always thinking about you guys. So thank you for all of that. We've hit another milestone of over 1,000 downloads. So thank you for all of that. Really exciting to see that the information and the resources are getting to caregivers. That's the whole point of what we're doing. So today, though, we're going to learn about the game that changed everything. Yeah, I know. Sounds interesting, right? Anyway, hi, I'm your host, Savy, the founder of Give Me a Break. You know, we're an all volunteer nonprofit organization that's caring for caregivers. That's what we do. We're here to bring back the joy of caregiving, and each week we're helping caregivers to survive. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. Survive. Did you know, for instance, that every 60 seconds, a child is diagnosed with a disability? Well, I know that doesn't seem to mean anything for a caregiver, but did you realize what that means? That means, yes, every 60 seconds, a mom who's already caregiving in that role of caregiving is now at double risk, because she's not only a caregiver for her child, but she's now caregiving for a disabled child. So she's double at risk. And what is that risk? That risk is that 40% of caregivers will not survive the journey. 40% of all caregivers in the United States will pass before the ones they're caring for. And yet they provide care silently in the background and have become invisible. So we need to see them. We need you to know that we see you. And I'll tell you what, we also know what you need. And just about every single one of those caregivers out there, need a good laugh. They really do. And they need to be able to release. And so by popular demand, our mindful moment this season, we brought back the viral sensation that she is, a social media viral sensation, world-renowned laughter coach, and award-winning empowerment coach, and just a very, very special person to bring you joy and keep you laughing. So please, let's have our mindful moment and bring back Bianca. Aloha, Bianca. It's Bianca Spears. Hi, aloha. All right. So I'm going to stay on for just a little bit because I'm going to try to laugh a little bit. We were just talking about this because, I had my gallbladder surgery. The whole world knows I've had gallbladder surgery now. But, it's funny because your stomach muscles and the pain you feel when you move, but laughing, I think, is really helping. And I'll talk more about that later in the show, but I think I'm going to try to laugh on with you for just a little bit this morning and see what I can take. Okay.
Yay. Okay. So hi, everyone. We are choosing to laugh today for the health of it, because laughter helps to reduce stress hormones. It helps to boost feel-good chemicals in our system that not only feel good, but do good for our bodies and brains. And I could talk all day about laughter, but it's probably better that you feel the benefits than just hear about them. So firstly, we're going to place our hands in the center of our chest. And if you feel comfortable to and it's safe to, just close your eyes or lower your gaze. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out. I'm going to take 2 sips of air in through the nose and sigh it out. And same again, 2 sips. 2 sips in and hold. Open your eyes if you feel like it, and we're going to giggle this one out.
Hand over to you.
Off goes Savy. Savy, you share in each episode different statistics about survival rate of caregivers, and it's it's quite serious, and I find it quite interesting and sobering each time. And today, when Savy was sharing, I was thinking of the song I Will Survive. You know, at first I was afraid, I was petrified. And I wondered if we might start humming that and then bring it to a laugh. So at first I was afraid. Let's start there. And I grew strong. I learned how to get along. And you see me. Ha 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 ha. Oh, now go. For those who haven't laughed with me before, they're like, what the actual are we doing right now? And that's okay. Sometimes it feels weird doing new and different things. And the more we choose the laughter, the easier it comes. So taking a nice deep breath in now, smiling and laughing out. In and out. Opening up your chest, perhaps spreading your arms wide, breathing in, laughing with your arms wide. Bringing your arms together, hands together, inhaling, opening, stretching out, feeling that nice stretch as you reach back, and laughing. Breathing in, arms together, out with laughter. And sometimes there's times where we really want to laugh, but it's not allowed, or it's not appropriate, or it's not a good time. So let's do a silent laugh together. So laughing, just with no sound. Taking a nice deep breath in and laughing. There might be a little bit of sound. Shh. Maybe trying to close your lips and keep them closed while you laugh. Laughing through your nose. Bringing a little sound, but keeping your lips closed. And letting it out. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Smiling, maybe feeling a bit of exercise in your cheeks. Sighing it out. Knowing that lengthening your exhale, whether with a sigh, a laugh, a hum, can do wonders for your body and your stress levels, helping to calm your system. If you've enjoyed this mindful moment, give yourself a little hug and a pat on the back for laughing along today. And you can find me on YouTube or the Laughly app if you'd love to laugh with me some more.
Oh, I love
right
it.
here next week.
I love it. I'm going to give you one more. This is the little Japanese girl laugh. When I was a little girl in Japan, we had to cover our mouth and you couldn't laugh. It's so funny. That'll be another one. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Bianca Spears, everybody, laughter leader and award-winning empowerment coach. You can find her on youtube.com/Bianca Spears. And of course, downloading her Laughly app, which is an amazing, amazing app. I can't even tell you. I did it this morning and I took my 60-second mood booster, which she calls a laugh lift. And you can actually see it on screen right now for those who are live or watching it on social media. And you see that little kind of scale, and you got to keep it in the green, and it just is, you're laughing at yourself, laughing at yourself. I don't know any other way to explain it, but it's 60 seconds. It just really picks up your mood, and I love it. Try it on the Laughly app. So awesome. Thank you so much, Bianca. I can't wait to see what you do next week.
See you next week. Aloha.
Yeah, I love her. I know you guys all do too. You all tell me about how much you do. And so please check her out. Go on her YouTube station. There's so much there. And gosh, download the app. It's super fun. It's free, and I just sit for 60 seconds this morning. I really picked up my mood. And I'm going to tell you that there's just times when you just need a little mood booster. And I know you guys know I do a lot while I'm sitting on the toilet. I talk about this all the time, but take that mood booster with you. And everyone's going to wonder why for 60 seconds you are cracking up while you're sitting on the toilet. But I'll tell you, it picks you right up, and that's not where I did it this morning, just so you know, but give it a try. I think you'll find it's a lot of fun. And we all need that. The laughter, as she always tells us every week, what it does for us, it gives us endorphins. It helps us to really, really just release some of that oxytocin and does just those wonderful, happy chemicals that we all need so much. We need all the support we can get. And that's what we do. We're here to support and to see caregivers, right? We know you're there. And what we do with Give Me a Break, we do without any funding. There's no grants. We don't have any kind of support that way because, there are currently no grants or funding earmarked for caregiving support. Did you know that? Nationwide. I mean, there's some for, older seniors or younger children or for those with different diseases, but there's nothing that's specific to caregiver support. And so we can't qualify for any of that. So we've been around for the last 6 years because of the goodness of your hearts. Thank you. Thank you so much, because we've done so much for so many, and we want to continue doing that. So what we're asking is that you become a monthly donor. So by becoming a monthly donor, you can help us, right? You can help us. And remember, like I said, every 15 seconds, someone's diagnosed with a terminal disease. And so, of course, my number's wrong on this flyer, but every 15 seconds, somebody becomes a caregiver. And we talk about all of these things all the time. That 65 seconds was for those who are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And every time somebody gets a diagnosis, guess what? A caregiver is sure to follow. And so every caregiver is out there with no support or very little, and not even enough to make it. And so we want to change that. We need your help. Become a monthly donor today. Don't hesitate. You can even use that QR code right there on the top of the screen. Let me get this off so I can point at it nicely. Right there at the top of the screen. You can use that QR code and go ahead and just sign up. We appreciate any and all help that you can give us. All of the services with Give Me a Break are free. They don't cost you anything. We do all we can for caregivers. In fact, we just had our garden retreat Monday, and it was wonderful. We were at this beautiful, beautiful, just tropical garden with a waterfall and a beautiful river, and everything was just green and fresh and wonderful. And there were about 10 of us there, and we just meditated, and we hugged trees, and we grounded ourselves, and we had wonderful conversations of sharing and how we could support one another. And all of the things that we do for caregivers. So I'll talk to you more later in the show about the next one that's coming up. You're going to want to be at that one as well. All right, but if you want more information, just go to our website. It's gab808.org. And of course, you can always send us a snail mail email at info@gab808.org. And when you're there, if you need anything, just fill out a support request. And that support request, it can be about the smallest thing. I mean, it can be a big thing too, if you really need that kind of help. And we'll do our best to connect you with people that can help you, that are vetted, or we'll do the best of what we can do to help you. All right. So we're there for you. We're there to support you. And of course, how about a weekly break? You want a weekly break? You don't want to wait for our day camps or our retreats? Well, that's okay. Every week at Give Me a Break, what we do is we offer you our support sessions. And our support sessions are every Tuesday evening. Now it's Hawaii Standard Time. I know that. So those of you all around the world, I know you have to look at how that time translates. But 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, join us on Zoom. And you can connect at our website as well. But it's really easy. It's just typing in 808-754-3787. And there you go. And of course, you can go on our website to /support-sessions and join us. We're just a group of caregivers just like you, and no professionals. Nobody's trying to get into your head. We create a positive, safe space just for you. So please join us and know that that's there for you every week. In fact, I just missed one, and that maybe makes 6 times in 6 years I've missed a session, because when I went in for my surgery, I was in the hospital. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make the session. So after that, though, I did. And so we're here. We're here for you. Join us. All right. So we know how caregiving is really hard, and it changes everything, doesn't it? Just everything. In fact, so hard that my guest today is here to ask you a question. How old are you today? And share the game that changed everything. So please welcome speaker, author, leader, leadership strategist, and author of the award-winning book, How Old Are You Today? Dementia, a Mother, a Daughter, and the Game That Transformed Their Lives. Aloha and welcome, Glenna Hecht. It's great to have you here. Hi.
Hi, aloha. I was
so
laughing, and so I'm so glad I got a chance to laugh before this.
I know,
It's
isn't
great.
that wonderful? She's just wonderful. She's just
Really amazing. Yes, such a fun thing to be part of. And thank you for inviting me on your show. I'm really excited to share a lot about my story in the game and how wonderful it was with my mom.
Yes. And we were just talking about this. We're like sisters from another mister. We're so connected in so many ways. And it's so funny because I was like, I'm talking all about my surgeries, and you just had surgery too, right? You had surgery on your arm, you had surgery on your stomach, and my goodness. And so, so I guess we just have to do everything together. And so here we are. But please share, I always ask everyone to share your caregiving journey. So before we get into talk about all the other things, please share with us what your journey was like.
Absolutely. Like so many of your listeners, Savy, my mom had dementia, right? And I was immediately thrust into the D word, not knowing what that was, no job description, no rule book, just figure it out one step at a time. But here's what was different. And what was different was I spent 30 years being a corporate executive, running human resources and training for big companies. My job was the problem solver, the fixer. When things went wrong, on Glenna's desk. So here's what I tried to do. The first 2 years of my mom's journey, I tried to fix her. I thought she was broken. I tried to bring her back to reality. And one day I lost my stuff. And I was so embarrassed by my response to my mom's conversation that she said for the 6th time that I got up and ran out of her assisted living, drove home, and crawled in a closet and cried. And it wasn't because of the situation. It was because I wasn't showing up as the daughter that I hoped I could be.
Yeah.
And I think it was the emotional tension and the frustration of not being able to do anything to help her other than, move her 5 times during her journey. But I couldn't fix her. And in that moment, I said, you know what? I got to give this up. If all I am is the best daughter that she has, then that's what I'm going to be for whatever the rest of her life looks like.
Yeah.
And shortly thereafter, it was so amazing, Savy. I walked in to see her one day in her assisted living, and I said, I have forgotten, how old are you? And she looked at me and said, guess. And that became the beginning of this question and answer back and forth, which became a ritual. The ritual became a game. And the game eventually became a book. And now it's a mission and a fund to help caregivers and dementia research. So my journey was 9 years. 7 of those Mom had was on hospice. And she was alive until just a few days shy of her 100th birthday. Wow. So I was very blessed to have her for a long time. And I always say dementia was one of the greatest gifts that I ever had, because it gave me my mom. It gave me stories that I never knew growing up. It gave me tears and heartbreak, but lots of laughter, lots of joy, lots of hope, and lots of connections. So I feel very, very blessed that I had that with her. And so that was my caregiving journey. And I'll
tell you, and I'll tell you something, I love that you said that, because it's really true. I think that, and being like you, I was an executive as well. And so we're always that power person, always that person trying to solve the problem. And I'll tell you that if you become a caregiver for somebody with a disease like that, that's debilitating, it humbles you to a whole different perspective, doesn't it? And I mean, to go into a corner and cry was something I never did. And I was always the strong one. And boy, I'll tell you, I could relate to that on so many occasions where I just felt so lost. I didn't know why is what I'm doing not working?
Yep.
This is supposed to work. I'm supposed to fix this. I love that I'm sitting here choking up right now, because now I can cry at will. It's great, but boy, I'll tell you, what a powerful, powerful journey. And that led, of course, to your book.
Yes.
So, tell us about that. Tell us about, putting experience to pen. Yeah. It just takes that connection, right? And so explain that process to us of how you got there, because I'm constantly telling caregivers to share their story.
Absolutely. So it took me 11 years to write the book. And
wow.
Yeah. And part of that was, living through the caregiving. When my mom passed, I needed to go through that feeling of being an orphan, right? Mom and dad were both gone and grieving. And then I sat down and started to write it. It was so interesting, because I looked at it and I said, boy, this is just not very good. And I couldn't figure out why. And finally, I realized that I wasn't willing to be vulnerable. I wasn't willing to admit that I crawled in a closet. I wasn't willing to admit that I didn't know what I was doing. And I thought, and these are the words I use all the time, I had to become the person who was willing to admit that I didn't know what I was doing and that caregiving was really hard.
Yeah.
And I kept sharing the game with people, and it worked for everyone. And finally, folks said to me, you owe it not to yourselves, you owe it to us to put this down on paper. And so I finally said, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable, because the reality is that's what cracked me open. And last year I sat down and started to write. And every Saturday was 5 hours, and all the stories that I had had for years. And I made you'll appreciate this, I made a vow to myself that I was going to finish the book by June 20th, which was her birthday. And so just a few short days ago, she would have been 110.
Wow.
And once it was finished, I was like, oh my gosh. And so let me just share a bit about it, because there's the leading up to the point where I said to my mom, how old are you? And she said, yes. And then the whole remainder of the book are the stories that we shared with each other. And I always say dementia is time travel. So some days she was 20, some days she was 90.
Right.
Some days were funny, some days were not. But what I also put into the book, which I think was so, so significant, is the art of the game and the rules of the game. How do you have to show up as a caregiver, even when you don't want to, even when it's horrible, even when they don't know who you are? How do you want to show up? And then the rules of the game are 6 different rules of exactly what you need to do. How do you touch them? What do their eyes tell you? And so I did that and just had stories galore of things that I learned from her that I never knew in the entire time that I was her daughter. And so the game is very simple.
It totally changed. It totally changed the relationship with your mom then, right?
Completely changed it. Folks have asked me, and I'm going to hope that you do, but what's your favorite chapter in the entire book? And it's one chapter called When I Met Me.
Wow.
And I walked in. My mom at that point was in a nursing home. She was probably about 97 and a half. And the aides would leave a seat next to her at lunch every day. And I walked in and I sat down, and just imagine, here's this woman sitting like this. And right. And I looked at her and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a really interesting day. And I started to play the game. Hi, Mom. And I didn't actually even call her Mom that day. I just said hi because I had a feeling what I was going to show up. I said, may I ask you a question? Yes. How old are you? And she kind of looked at me and she said, yes. And I said, well, do you have a child? Yes. A boy? No. Oh, you have a little girl. What's her name? And she said, the miracle baby, which was what they called me because my mom had had 3 miscarriages before she had me. And they were so thankful, yes, that they had me, that was my nickname. They called me the miracle baby. And I went everywhere with them. I was with them all the time. And so immediately when my mom said that, I knew that she was at that moment 39, which was the age she was when she had me. And I said, what was your birth like? And she screamed at the top of her lungs, it hurt. And everybody in the room froze, hundreds of people. And I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. And
Just telling a story.
I said, do you love the baby? She goes, oh, yes. And she would do this, like that. And I said, what do you do with the baby? Oh, I feed the baby. I change the baby. I bathe the baby. I sing to the baby, and all the things that she did to care for me. And then I said, do you get much sleep? And she said, no, because I'm afraid if I go to sleep, the baby will die. And in that moment, I truly didn't know what to say. I had no idea because I couldn't say to her, I'm the baby, because she couldn't relate to that. And so
but you got an insight to
what it was,
what was happening. I mean,
yes.
How precious
profound,
is that?
profound. And I in that moment went, oh, please give me the words. And I looked at her and I said, oh, I've seen the baby and she's healthy and beautiful and happy. And you were a great mom. And my mom went, literally the shoulders kind of did this, and she patted her fake baby on the head. And then like a puddle, it just, and she looked at me and said, can I go to sleep now?
Oh.
And I said, absolutely. And the aides wheeled her away. And I remember walking out, and it felt like slow motion, and went to my car and cried for about an hour, as you'd imagine I would.
Yeah.
And called my best friend, and I said, you're not going to believe what just happened. And she was the one that said, this is something you need to share because other people want these experiences as well. And so I never knew my mom was afraid that she was going to die if she went to sleep. I never knew that. And, I never knew what she did to care for me. So the gift of dementia was truly those stories that allowed me to learn about her and growing up and taking care of me, but also repaired a relationship, brought me closer at a time that so many people feel difficulty and heartache and a lack of hope. And so my hope to people is that the book will bring them that, but I also know that I sent to you the QR code with a handout that I'd love to share with people, which is,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
my
here's your
mom's
book. Here's your book right here, real
my book,
quick. And
my
let me
beautiful
just
book.
let me
How old
actually
are you
take this other
today?
banner. Hold on. Let me take this other banner out of the way, and we can see your book there. And so I love this cover, the Queen of Hearts. I love it. What inspired you to use the Queen of Hearts?
Oh, so many things. Well, it was a game, which was part of it. But also, as I share in the book, every single holiday, I would bring my mother a crown. And whether she was in the assisted living. So imagine those little plastic crowns that you wear for birthday parties. And she was 98 years old. And I went to visit her for Mother's Day and brought her a crown. And she looked at me and she said, "It's time you wore the crown." And I knew that that was the passing of the torch, right? That we knew time would be limited, even though it was almost 2 more years. But it was very much of the sacrificial. Here's the queen, and now I know that my time is coming. And so that's what led to the cover of the book.
Oh, wow. And here's, wait, hold on. I've got the wrong one. There we go. Here's the QR code we've been talking about. And so if you want to explain a little bit about that, but basically, right, this will help if you leave a review for Glenna and connect, and you'll receive a handout. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So the handout has how you show up, right? So some guidelines about how caregivers can be in the moment. It also shares the 5 rules that my mom lived by, which I never heard until I was way later in my lifetime. She was in her late 90s, and she said, "Here's 5 rules that give me a good life." And so when she passed, I had those printed on cards, and people said, if she was 19 days shy of 100, she sure knew how to live. But there's a lot of information there about how you show up, the rules, the game, and then certainly that leads you to my website, which has more handouts and things that folks can have. So whatever I can do to help caregivers, my mission as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, so that's www, of course, howoldareyouttoday.com. Just that simple to remember, you guys. Howoldareyouttoday.com to get more information about Glenna and about her wonderful book and sharing of her story and journey. And again, connecting in so many ways. I think it's amazing. And of course, you can always give her a call, 469-766-6110. I'll do that one more time, 469-766-6110. So please connect up with Glenna. Boy, what an awesome sharing. And I'm so honored to have you on the show today. And I know that caregivers are going to resonate with this. They're going to hear what you've had to say, because I was just nodding through the whole thing, every single situation, and thinking of all of the connections that happened when 12 years with my mother through her Lewy body dementia journey. And she just passed this past November. And so I can so relate to everything that's in your book. And I think it's just I love that you turned it into a game, because that really changes the way you see this journey. Absolutely. And the way you connect with your mom or whoever it is that you are caring for. So caregivers, please check out her book. It's called, I'm going to put it on there again, How Old Are You Today? And this is Dementia, a Mother, a Daughter, and the Game That Transformed Their Lives.
Savy, can I share one more thing?
Yes.
So what I didn't mention is the game became a book, and the book became a mission. My mission is to get the book into the hands of 200,000 caregivers, and 30% of the proceeds are going into a fund with the hope of donating $2 million to dementia Alzheimer's research. And so, to your point, not many grants going to caregivers, not as much going to research. And so my thought is, I would love to be able to do that, to make a huge difference in the lives of both caregivers and future people that are dealing with this as well.
Oh, that's awesome. And thank you for that. So know that by purchasing her book, you are helping to support a mission.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, these missions that if you've been a caregiver and then you find your passion mission, let me tell you, people, we do not give up until we hit that mission. And so please help support that, because anything we can do to support caregivers and to change the way people are seeing caregivers so that we can support them and be able to do that financially, because it all takes money, gang. So check it out, and what an honorable thing that you're doing. And I'll tell you, it's just been a pleasure to meet up finally with my sister here, who I think we're going to stay connected in so many ways moving forward. But thank you so much. It is truly an honor to have you share your heart and your journey and your mission on our show today. So thank you so much, Glenna. I really appreciate it.
An honor to be with you, and an honor to hear about what you do for caregivers and how you help and how big your heart is. So thank you for being in my world. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love it. Mahalo, and have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Really
Mahalo.
Aloha. Wow. I'll tell you, it just gets better. It just gets better. And we're just meeting all of these wonderful souls and connecting up. That's what this is about, right? This is about seeing that the world there's caregivers out there who get it, who get you, and you're not alone. Right. So Glenna's book, you can contact her at 469-766-6110 or howoldareyoutaday.com. Check it out. Go there, get the book, support a great cause and mission that she has as well. Man, I'll tell you, the Caring Caregiver Show, this is how we support not only caregivers, we support those who are supporting caregivers, but we support all missions, right? And especially ours with Give Me a Break. And one of the things we do with Give Me a Break is we get you connected to resources, not just here on the show, but also through our Giver's Guides online magazine. Now, the Giver's Guides online magazine is available to anybody. Simply make a $25 donation. That's all you have to do. Once a year, you can make that donation. You'll get 12 free issues that come to you online. It's that simple. It's super easy. Make that donation today, $25, and we give you a gift. And the gift is resources. And we connect you to that through our Giver's Guides magazine. Here is the current June issue. And yes, that's my dad there. And boy, do I miss him. But that's him. He's on the cover. We do a once a year in June on Men's Health Month. We honor all of the dads and the male caregivers out there. You guys are a large percent. You're 45% of the caregiving force out there. And so we honor you, and we have special articles in there just for you and how you can survive your journey as well. And all written for caregivers by caregivers from a caregiver's point of view. And this is one of the best resources, really, in the palm of your hands. Here's a sneaky peek at next month's issue. Next month is Sandwich Generation Caregiver Month. And so we have a whole sandwich magazine here for you with the lettuce and tomato and bacon too. So check it out, make your donation, contribute, and get those 12 monthly issues coming to you that you can actually, like I said, in the palm of your hand. So you can just literally be at the doctor's office with the one that you're taking care of, and you can be on your phone, and you could be reading an article of how to practice mindfulness in a moment, how to, here, 5 great tips for stress relief in a moment, right? We get it. We know what it's like. You don't have an hour to go to the gym. You may not be able to see your professional psychiatrist or psychologist all the time, and I urge you to get professional help if you need it. But boy, I'll tell you, having that magazine as a resource is a great thing for you to be able to get something, anything in the moment, and knowledge from people who are caregivers just like you. All right. Big announcement. I talked to you. I just said Monday we had our garden retreat. So guess what? We now have our Caregiver Day Camp coming up. Yes, the Caregiver Day Camp is coming up for next month, and that will be at Kawaikui Beach Park. It's going to be on July the 20th. That's a Monday from 10 to 3. And so we meet up in the parking lot at 9:50, 10 minutes before, and we're going to have just an amazing day camp there at the beach. We're going to get it in the water, in the Vi, and we're going to release a lot of that negativity. We're going to have time to enjoy and connect with other caregivers. So just go onto our website. You can register now. For that, going to gab808.org/retreat and go ahead and register. Join us for our day camp. Also, we have scheduled our second session of the care receiving plan. So we went through our first session of the care receiving plan, and as you all may know, it is an 8-part series, so 8 weeks. We just concluded one, and we're going to start another session in September. So go onto our website for that. And that, of course, is gab808.org/CRP for care receiving plan, because you're not planning to receive care, are you? You're caring right now. And if you're not prepared for the day when you're going to receive care, all we're doing is perpetuating the same journey over and over again that leads to those awful statistics where caregivers' mortality rate is horrible. And we're going to change that by being prepared. So when you put your care receiving plan together, then the person caring for you won't suffer like you did. And if we can continually make this better generation after generation, we will bring back the joy of caregiving, and we will change the landscape of caregiving forever. So this 8-part series, some of you, we were at our first series, didn't make it to every class. By all means, go on our website, check the dates and see which one you missed. And so you can attend those as well, but please re-register. So I know you're coming and I can count on those. And don't forget to bring your folders if you came to that first session. But that's what it's about. It's the care receiving workshops, and they're free and they're for you. All right. So don't miss it. Sign up today. It's going to be at the Laliha Library right in the middle of town. We'll look forward to meeting new faces and seeing some of the ones that were at our last session as well. It's going to run from September through October. Okay. Whew, this season is packed full of amazing resources, amazing people, and incredible hearts. And each one of our resources do have their own story. They all have a caregiving story. They're caregivers just like you. Wow. So we have what you need right here. And it's right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. And as a reminder, know that this is brought to you by Give Me a Break and Givers Guides Online Magazine. So, I'm going to hit you again. Please make that donation. Please keep it all coming. Help us pay the bills. And so become a monthly donor now. Just go right ahead and go to our website and do that, or use the QR code in the corner or on this flyer as you're seeing it on screen, because we need that. We need your help, and we're happy to get it. And thank you for all of those who have continued to be monthly donors and who have supported us thus far. All right. I'd like to thank a big mahalo to Bianca for her laughter and joy today. And you, of course, can find her on YouTube at youtube.com/Bianca Spears. So excuse me one moment while I take a little sippy, because boy, does coughing still hurt. And I'd really love to thank Glenna, who is just amazing. HowOldAreYouToday.com. Check her out. And also, I'm going to flash that QR code one more time on the screen for you guys so you can see it. Flash that QR code, rate her, give her a great rating, and connect with her. And you're also going to get that free guide. So how to play and what matters. And so check it out. Do that today. Next week, my guests will be, excuse me. Next week, my guest will be Tani Salazar. She's from the Elderly Office of Affairs through the State of Hawaii Department of Health, and she heads up the Dementia Initiative here in Hawaii. I'm excited to have her on and talk to you about some of the things that are happening locally for you. And as far as nationwide, Sue Lloyd Davies, who was supposed to be on episode 2, and we just miscommunicated. And so we've got her back on. I brought her on. She's going to come on and guest next week. You'll get to find out all about Pinky's Turnabout. And so we're really excited about that and share her story as well. Please join us each week. It's going to be great. and next week's going to be great, but every week's great. So put a calendar reminder in your phone now, right? Get it in there live every Wednesday at 12 noon Hawaii time. The Caring Caregiver Show is here for you. You don't want to miss us. And if you do, it's okay. We are streaming currently on 7 platforms simultaneously. So it's going to kind of live on those platforms, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. It'll live on those platforms for quite some time. So you can always go back and watch it, but please watch it. And then don't worry, a week after every single live episode, we go into podcast, and we're on any possible podcast platform you can think of, right? Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, iHeart, we're there. And so you can check us out there. And if you're not sure where to find any of that, just go to our website. And where is it? I'm looking for it. Anyway, I can't find it. Okay, never mind. There's the YouTube one, Give Me a Break 808/streams, or just go onto our website, gab808.org/CCS for Caring Caregiver Show. And you can click on and listen to an audio right there as well. You know, the bottom line, caregivers, stay connected. Don't isolate. If you have to go into the closet and cry like Glenna and I have done, do it. But come back out to the world and connect. Get connected to a group of caregivers that can support you, right? You have us every week. I'm sure there are caregivers, support groups in your area. And if you're not sure where to find them, let me know. I'll find them for you, right? We'll get you connected. Whatever you do, don't isolate, right? We're here and we can support you. So in the meantime, remember, breathe, laugh, and here's hoping that you're finding more joy in caregiving every week right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in, and please, always be kind to yourself and especially to those who care. Aloha, everyone. See you next week.